many respects. It's a draw that at times could have felt like a defeat. It was so damaging for the Welsh automatic qualification hopes out of Group D. And those three changes are Brennan Johnson, Nathan Broadhead and Tom Lockyer coming in. Lockyer replacing the suspended Chris Mepham, Broadhead and Johnson for Brooks and keeper Moore. So Ward is in goal, Rodon, Lockyer and Davis the back three. Connor Roberts and Nico Williams are the wing backs. Ethan Ampadu and Jordan James in the midfield, with Harry Wilson and Nathan Broadhead supporting Brennan Johnson. Wales are in all red. Turkey, the Group D leaders, have already qualified. They are one of the 19 teams who have already automatically qualified for Euro 2024. Çakır is in goal, Kariolu, Akaydin, Badakçı, Özkaçar is the defence, Ömer, Özcan and Yüksek the midfield. Aktürkoğlu, Yilmaz and Sarri are the front three. And don't think because Turkey have already qualified they're just going to turn up here and think they're excellent away from home, and also they can still be caught for top spot in Group D, which would have an impact on their seedings for the draw on December the 2nd in Hamburg, as the Turkish players, all in white, are going to go across to that quadrant on the far side to acknowledge their vociferous Turkish support, although I have actually noticed that there are a number of Turkish supporters in the main stand here. But get yourself strapped in, because if Armenia can do Croatia a favour in Zagreb, Croatia, remember, have got to win that game, but if they fail to win and Wales get the victory here, then it is Wales who will automatically qualify. Buckle up, could be an interesting ride.
I think the bench is going to be important tonight as well, because you expect Turkey to have the majority of possession, and then that'll take a lot out of this Welsh team, but to finish strongly you're going to need that bench.
So Wales are playing from left to right as we look. The red wall behind them, they'll hope that that's not breached as Danny Ward gets the ball back and clears it long away down that field, but already the Turkish support are making their presence felt.
Yeah, the early stages are key as well. It's, as a player, it's hard not to get caught up in the emotion, in the atmosphere. Be nice to see Wales get the ball down early, every player get a touch, settle into the game and really soak this atmosphere up.
This is Badakçı, hits the ball left-footed. He's looking for the run of Aktürkoğlu through the middle, but it's cleared away. Laid off by Brennan Johnson, goes to Özcan, back now to Özkaçar, the left back, and back to Çakır, who hasn't really played a great deal in the goal for Turkey. They've got the Manchester United goalkeeper, but he's not figured at all during this qualifying campaign. It's Mert Günok who's been the main number one, but Çakır, the Trabzonspor goalkeeper, getting a run all in yellow towards our right-hand side. Çakır hits it long downfield, and turn to go back is Ben Davis, looking to try and get that run of Youssef Sarri forward on that far side, quite diminutive. He scored at the weekend in a 3-2 victory away to the Euro 2024 hosts in Berlin, Germany. They won by 3-2. It's been a lively start, Nathan.
Well, it's been interesting because straight from the off they've looked to stretch play 2 occasions. You think a Turkey will be a possession-based side and look to play, but right from the off they've looked to really stretch Wales, get in behind and gain some territory.
Vincenzo Montella, the Italian, is their new coach. This is only his 4th game in charge after they sacked Stefan Kuntz. He was fired in September. 3 games, won all 3. And they're good away from home as well, as the ball is played out by Yüksek, out towards Sarri, cuts in off that right touchline, tries to slide the ball in. He was looking the run of Ömer through the midfield, as the ball rebounds and picked up by Danny Ward. Of course, it was the early goal. You commentated with Connor at the weekend, James. That goal was so costly because against Armenia then, Wales were always playing catch-up.
Yeah, they were, and I think that affected the way Wales played. I know I mentioned it before the game, about maybe going a bit long to keep them all. They haven't got that option tonight. Brennan Johnson's going to play straight through the middle with his pace.
Broadhead just tried to thread a ball through as it popped up to him quite quickly. Picked up now by Jordan James, charging forward, and he sends in a teasing ball that required Badakçı to deal with as he slid in, and the ball has been chipped out for a throw. And you can hear straight away what that means for the Welsh support. First real opportunity that Wales have had, 3 minutes in, 0-0.
Great opportunity here. Now put the ball in the box. They'll create a chance early on, how they scored on the weekend.
Now the equaliser before half-time came from a throw on the right-hand side, and it's a long one from Roberts, and then it's well actually claimed by Shakir, the goalkeeper, all in yellow. Had to come a long way to collect that. That's what you want as a defender.
Yeah, as a
isn't it?
defender, that's what you want. But that is quite a threat for Wales. Connor Roberts down this right hand side has got a long throw, and it's not always, as Nathan knows, being a manager and playing, it's not always what comes from the first throw. I know that's not a great throw the keepers come, but it can be the knockdowns. Other Welsh boys, on their toes for the little knockdowns. The ball might fall to them in the box to hopefully get a shot on target or even score a goal.
Turkey have a throw. Özkaçar, who plays his football in Valencia, he moved to the Mestalla in 2022, goes back. Worth reiterating that Turkey have already qualified, but they will want that point to finish Group D winners, but they've lost the ball, and it's Broadhead coming forward now for Wales. He eyes it and he shoots! Oh, and it drops just wide. He hit that right footed just outside the D. That was very, very close. What a good start by Wales.
It has been a great start, and just what we wanted. Nathan Broadhead playing in that position he plays for his club, predominantly a striker, but coming in off that left-hand side, real good quality, and whistles past the post.
That will give the players a lift, James.
It will, for sure. The whole start will. The fans are already up. We knew it was a good atmosphere before, but this start from Wales, they're on the front foot. They're trying to press Turkey when they're in possession. And like I mentioned before, with Brennan Johnson's pace through the middle, they're a threat with every attack.
It's still 0-0, incidentally, in Zagreb. Croatia against Armenia. As the ball from Badaci looks for the run over the top of Omar. It might come out towards Sarri, but it was Danny Ward who quickly came off his line. But it's something that both Nathan and James have talked about, and they keep looking for that long ball over the top.
Yeah, look, it looks to be a tactic where maybe they've seen something in Wales' setup or in previous setups that they think they can exploit that, but it has been a tactic. 3 times they've had the ball, 3 times they've looked to go in behind.
Now Roberts is forward and he's high up the pitch and he tries to hit it early. It hits the left back Özkaçar, and he plays the ball out of play for a throw. Roberts now waits for the throw for Wales near side the right. He got forward very quickly there, didn't he? Connor Roberts, the wing back on this right hand side for Wales, and once again they're going to look for that throw. Wales are playing from left to right, 0-0, 5 live. We're in the 6th minute. In it comes now from Roberts. Off the head of, I think it was Davis who got there. Wilson lifts it back in towards Roberts, but coming back was Aktokolu on his defensive duties to Özcan. Try and tickle the ball forward, but that 50-50 challenge was Jordan James, preventing Turkey to advance, and it goes out of play for a throw.
Been a real good start, and as you see, the worst thing that could happen is if all this territory was the other end, and then the crowd would be flat. But as it is, throw-ins, little opportunities, the Broadhead shot, all this is contributing to a good atmosphere and hopefully a real positive start.
Can you just imagine if Armenia were to score? But at the minute, they don't need to. That's the thing. If it stays 0-0,
you can notice already. As I mentioned, I commentated on Saturday. Jordan James and Ethan Ampadu were probably sitting a little bit too deep when Armenia had possession. You can see already tonight when Turkey are in possession, they're up, squeezing. The 3 centre halves of Wales are pushing them on to go and win the ball back as high up the pitch as they can.
James finds Wilson. Wilson does well out towards that far side, and the chance comes in. Wales have got off to a flying start. That'll set the nerves rattling in Zagreb. Nico Williams, right-footed, past the outstretched goalkeeper Shakir. They made a terrible start in Armenia. Quite the opposite tonight in Cardiff. Wales 1, Turkey 0.
It's brilliant from Nico Williams. I just mentioned it about winning the ball back high up the pitch. Turkey trying to play out. I think it's Ethan Ampadu who's nicked the ball back. One pass, and they're away. He's cut inside on his right foot, and it's a great finish.
Only what Wales have deserved for this start.
He couldn't have put it any better, could he, in that right corner?
Well, Broadhead had a little tester. He had, it's a great finish. If you see, he started outside, keeper got no chance.
Nico Williams, with only his 3rd goal for his country on his 36th appearance. All the goals he scored have been at home, and that could be so valuable.
It really is. Nathan just said it's a great finish. When you cut inside on your right foot like that, Nico Williams, everything wanted Teddy to try and hit it as hard as you can. He hasn't. He's just guided it into the far corner. It started outside the post and curled into the bottom corner. What a great start from Wales.
And you know what we say about psychology and stuff. If we hear that Croatia had scored and how flat the atmosphere can become, imagine what it's like in Zagreb now. They'll know the pressure now twists to them.
All of a sudden, Croatia have to take the lead in Zagreb. They know now that they might well be facing the playoffs. Wales are looking for automatic qualification. It's that much on a knife edge, and Wales are off to the best possible start, leading by a 0-0. But now they've got to keep their concentration, because they've got to defend a free kick. Turkey will take it. Sarri, right-footed into the penalty area towards Badakci. It's going to come out towards Broadhead. Broadhead now does well. Broadhead well. Midway through his Wales half, picks it up. Then he's muscled off the ball by Uzkacar, and then Sarri will take it back. But Broadhead already, 9 minutes in, one of the 3 changes that has been made by Rob Page. I would say that change has already been vindicated.
Yeah, for sure. You can see he's up for it. You would be if you were playing. But the beauty of him, he's back doing his defensive work there, but he's got that pace, he's got the trickery to pick it up outside his own box and take the pressure off, run it 30, 40 metres up the pitch. And, unfortunately he's given the ball away, but that takes the pressure off these Wales defenders. Ball
again goes long, looking for Sarri around the back for Turkey. What is interesting, if you look to the right here next to Nathan, there's some empty seats. And that was due to be for Croatian radio, and they clearly felt before the game that have applied for their accreditation, and Ramić Kovacic and Vicky Ivanovic thought, oh no, we're not going to bother going now, it's fine now. They're not here.
That's because thorough, that is you're doing your homework, looking and checking. Different level.
And now all of a sudden they'll be thinking, we need to be here, because the story could still be here in Cardiff. We're going to keep it across in Zagreb. 0-0 between Croatia and Armenia, but Wales are leading by a 0-0. So as it stands, Wales will be the 20th and final team to gain automatic qualification for Germany. But we've got such a long way to go. Only 10 minutes have ticked by, but that goal from Nico Williams is the difference. As the ball goes long, Badakci clatters into the floor after that challenge from Johnson, runs back towards the goalkeeper. And now it's laid out to Kadiolu on the far side, dark-haired right back. But the Welsh supporters are finding their voices, and for the time being, the Turkish fans are silent in the quadrant on the far side.
Just the start that Wales would have wanted, everything, game plan, start, atmosphere.
Here is Badakci, left of the centre circle. Left-footed ball that won't quite reach Kadiolu, who was pushed up on that right-hand side. Ben Davies, the Welsh captain. I noticed tonight with his 84th cap, he moves level with Aaron Ramsey. Only 6 more players have played more football for Wales with Ben Davies, slowly but surely edging his way towards a century of caps as the ball is chipped out by that Yüksek, the midfielder. Kadiolu, high up the pitch, right-hand side.
Never let us down either, Ben Davies. He doesn't get a lot of the headlines. He's been absolutely, like you say, 86 caps, was it, Deno? He's every single one of them. He's performed for his country, and there's many more in there yet as well.
Kadiolu finds Sarri, works over the cross from the right, headed out by Jordan James for Wales, who still lead by a 0-0. We've got James Collins and Nathan Jones with us here tonight on BBC Radio 5 Live. We're live in Cardiff for what has been certainly a dramatic night so far, as Wilson picks the ball up, looks for Johnson, turns with his back to goal, lays it off. Broadhead coming forward. Broadhead looks towards Wilson in the penalty area, but there were 6 white shirts back to snuff out that move. But it was a move of promise.
It is. Croatia committing bodies. The both fullbacks playing high and leaving the 2 centre-halves isolated, and with the shape the Wales are playing, with the front 3 narrow, with pace, with energy, it's a real good ploy. If they can win the ball in the middle of the park, there'll be many more opportunities that they can.
Badakci looks for the run of Baris Yilmaz, the Galatasaray forward. A number of these players do play for Galatasaray. Badakci, who excelled at Old Trafford in that 3-2 win. Indeed, the Champions League this time next week. Our destinations will be Paris, Istanbul and London for Plenty more games from inside the stadium here on 5 Live Sport, BBC Radio 5 Live. We're also on BBC Sounds. They've been playing for a quarter of an hour in Zagreb. Croatia 0, Armenia 0. We're 14 minutes in here in Cardiff and Wales lead by a 1-0.
Is it too early to start cheering on Armenia, Dana? When's that going to start, Nate?
If they just keep a clean sheet, that will surely do. Providing, of course, that Wales get the win against the Group D league leaders. Bardakci makes a strong run forward. Excellent challenge coming in from Wilson. Roberts now coming forward and then just slows it down and back towards Ampadu. Roberts to James. Ooh, that was a heavy touch, and he tried to retrieve it, and he went. Ooh, he's got away with a yellow card there as Jordan James. And VAR, of course, would have maybe had a look at that. The referee, who is Mataj Jug from Slovenia, just waved it away. That was old school, wasn't it?
It was, but
I think he might have got away with one there. I bet it looks like he's made a genuine attempt for the ball, but I think he's gone over the ball and
I thought he had.
Here is Williams for Broadhead, making the run left-hand side of the penalty area. Tries to get it back to the Welsh goal scorer, but there was Akaydin. Would have given it away of Turkey. And Williams made a surging run, and Wales have got a corner kick. They are playing very, very well. Rob Page, a quarter of an hour in, couldn't have wished for a better start here in Cardiff.
Absolutely. Crowd have responded as well, and they said it's generated that bit of momentum. Every time they've gone down, they've come out with something, where there's been a throw, a long throw, something's gone in the box. It's given the Wales fans plenty to get behind.
Broadhead slowly but surely wanders across towards the far side. It's a corner kick to Wales, who are leading by a 0-0. Everybody is back for Turkey. Broadhead, plenty of loft, plenty of curl, headed back by Lockyer, loops in the air onto the roof of the net and behind for another corner kick.
Just building more and more pressure. It's a great ball in from Broadhead, whipped it to the back stick. Good header back across from Lockyer, but it's just building that pressure. Little bit of pushing and shoving in the box, which is just going to add to the atmosphere.
Yeah, there's a little bit of needle there that the Slovenian referee is just going to have a word. So something's riled the Turkish players. So at the minute, it's just settled down now. The Slovenian referee's calling Aktakolu and Brennan Johnson to him. Just a friendly word for the Galatasaray forward and the Tottenham Hotspur player. Wales are leading 1-0. Another corner kick then for Wales on that far side, the left. Broadhead to take it. Three of them line up in a single line. In it comes again, another in-swinging corner, and Ben Davies just challenged Shakir, the Turkish goalkeeper, who's fallen awkwardly and might just have fallen awkwardly on his left knee. He's grimacing a little bit. What did you say earlier on in the press room about Lockyer?
It's just he's such an aggressive attacker of the ball, and because he's not the biggest, he's not always marked by some of the best markers. He goes a bit unnoticed, and for his club he's been excellent from set plays, and I just got a feeling that just something might fall for him today.
Well, he's yet to score for Wales. Tonight's his 16th appearance for his country, as Bardakci rolls it out to Özkoçar on this near side. Back to Bardakci with his ponytail. Akaydin, his fellow central defensive partner, turns. Certainly Karayalu was quite high up the pitch on that far side, the right. Yilmaz has come very, very deep to collect this ball, now the centre forward. Özkoçar was a heavy touch. That let in Jordan James, and as a result, Wales get a free kick that they want to take quickly, but the referee's pulled them back.
I know it's early stages, but you can see already, I'm sure Nathan will agree, Wales look very organised. You can see there's a lot of communication out there when this Turkish team have got the ball. Wales are quite comfortable letting them have it. They're sat in sort of a mid-block, letting the Turkey players pass it side to side. But when that ball's played forward, the centre-halves are up behind the centre-forwards, and even when they've been excellent going forward so far, Wales, but in defence as well, they all look like they're talking to each other and look very composed.
I mentioned for that last corner kick that the goalkeeper Shakir had just picked up a little bit of a knock. The challenge from Ben Davies, I think he probably just jarred his left knee, and he's actually now requiring treatment. The Netherlands, incidentally, are leading Gibraltar by a 0-0. The Netherlands have already qualified, they're 1-0 up. Gibraltar will be hoping that they don't concede as many as they did against France the other night. In the stoppage in play that we have here in Cardiff, Wales are leading 1-0. still goalless in Zagreb. But what about England's under-21s against Northern Ireland's under-21s at Goodison Park, Chris Coles?
18 minutes in, it's 0-0. England, as you'd expect, with all of the ball, but they're yet to create anything of note. Northern Ireland playing a very rigid 4-4-2, and England at the moment finding it very difficult to break through. England 0, Northern Ireland 0 in this under-21 Euro qualifier.
It looks like Shaqiri is going to be able to continue.
Going back a bit old school now. The next time they get a corner, next time they get a throw in,
Stick it on the keeper. Just see a bit of footage on our screens here. Aaron Ramsey sat in the stand checking his scores already. So everyone's looking at the other game.
I'm doing the same. I can tell you, 20 minutes in, it's still Croatia 0, Armenia 0. I think if we had a little pot here now, we were to throw in £1 for every time that we mention the scores and the permutations, we could have quite a decent sized fund for the end of the night when you're going to take me out.
You might even buy a pint then, don't you?
Ball towards Johnson, makes the run forward. Johnson on this right hand side, he's got support. Behind him is Roberts. He was being tracked by Samet Aykudin, the Fenerbahce central defender, as it goes out of play for a Wales throw, who still lead by a 0-0. So I reckon we're about just at the minute, we're 60 seconds behind the events in Zagreb, as Roberts waits to take a throw. Turkish voices you can hear in the background. Inside to Broadhead, off his chest, challenged though by Yüksek. Runs out towards Ben Davies and the captain towards Lockyer. And Lockyer now hits the ball forward. Roberts with a well-timed run from right wing back, but the ball will just kick on. Just kicks on away and out for a goal kick. Otherwise that would have been a perfect bit of timing from Connor Roberts, James.
Yeah, it would have been. He's getting forward as much as he can. Tom Lockyer is unlucky. He's a bit of zip on the grass. He's just overhit it, but it's certainly a way. Wales have seen Connor Roberts already pushing on it with every opportunity he gets.
Here is Aykudin to Badakci. Özkaçar on this near side, the left, gives the ball away. Lockyer's got time to control it. Along the ground finds Broadhead. Just tried to roll away from Özcan, and he was caught by the Borussia Dortmund midfielder. And that'll be a free kick to Wales inside the centre circle. Nathan.
You see there with the setup, when Turkey go forward, they're pushing the fullbacks really high, leaving the centre halves exposed. Now, if any of those two midfield players vacate that space, that's when Broadhead, that's when Harry Wilson will really get space, and that's when Wales are causing problems.
I think that's, we just seen it there, Broadhead getting that space in the 10 position, because, these Turkey defenders will know how quick Brennan Johnson is. So they naturally, as a defender, I can speak for myself, you give yourself the extra 2 yards, which creates that space in the 10 position.
The Netherlands have got a second goal in Gibraltar. Gibraltar 0, the Netherlands 2. Still goalless in Zagreb. Wales have a slender lead here. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 live also on BBC Sounds. As Sarri chips the ball out to the left back, Özkaçar lets it come under control. Didn't think it was that cold. Here is Özcan. He's been put in possession by Jordan James, and now Harry Wilson making the run forward. Wilson goes down just outside the area, and the Slovenian referee tells him to get to his feet under that challenge with Badakci. And Badakci now is barged over by Brennan Johnson, and he went to ground far too easy for a big man.
The front three causing all sorts of problems. Might not be a penalty, it might be, but causing all sorts of problems tonight for this Turkey back four.
But Brennan Johnson pushed over Bardakci, but then he went forehead to forehead with the Turkish central defender, and the referee from Slovenia has clearly felt that Brennan Johnson was the aggressor, and he's been shown a yellow card.
Yeah, it's a little bit silly from him. He feels aggrieved, no doubt. He's just seen a challenge on Harry Wilson, which is very similar, if not less, what the Turkey defender has got the foul for. So he's a little bit disappointed, but you shouldn't be getting that. International football, you're only one little mistake away from getting a red card. So Brennan Johnson's got to be careful now.
Yeah, got to keep the discipline on a night like this when so much rest on fine margins. But Wales are leading as Rodon steps out of defence, and Brennan Johnson just couldn't control the ball in that effort with Bardakci. Now it's Kadiolu who goes forward on the right, carries the ball midway through the Wales half. Sarri takes over just in from the right touchline, finds Omar. Now they work it back. Bardakci, he'll get booed now as his role in part of that for Brennan Johnson. As Bardakci spots the run of Sarri making that in off the right to the inside right channel of the penalty area. Ampadu just prods it away, and then Nico Williams goes over. Omar made the shoulder barge on him, takes a quick throw. Rob Page complains to the fourth official, and the needle that is clearly growing between these two sets of players, and the crowd getting involved as well, is just adding to the intrigue and the jeopardy.
The refs, he's letting a lot go. That from here looks like a foul, but there was a tackle early on from Jordan James that looked a foul, but he's actually letting it go, which is getting the players frustrated and building the atmosphere.
Corner kick to Turkey, who trail the Group D leaders. In it comes from the right hand side, headed out by Ampadu. The cheers of the Welsh support will tell you that. Out it goes for a throw. Yousef Sarri wants to take it quickly. So we're 24 minutes in here in Cardiff, and it remains 1-0 to Wales. As the cross goes over, and Özkaçar couldn't keep it in play. Fizzed over, out for a goal kick. Nathan Jones.
It's interesting. I was going to compare the Özkaçar, the Turkish 6'3" left back, with one of our own, Chris Coleman, back in the day. But I think I'll be doing him Chris a bit of an injustice. Every time Özkaçar's had the ball at the minute, he's giving it away and allowed the Turkish team to counter, the Welsh team to counter. So
very similar to Cookie, then.
Yeah, I think 6'3". I don't know what thighs he's got under those shorts, but I guarantee they won't be as big as Cookie's.
Nathan Jones and James Collins here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Wales play the ball out. Lockyer comes under pressure from Omar, but they beat the press. James able to turn, right to the challenge of Omar, passes the ball then out towards Roberts on this near side, and he's got room to run into. Wales still lead. Over the halfway line, slows it down. Back inside to the fair-haired Jordan James, the teenager of Birmingham City. Slides the ball forward. Brennan Johnson with his pace will get there. Challenge comes in from Aykerdin, and the referee says that's a corner kick.
I think he's took Brennan Johnson first to get to the ball.
The Wales players protest to Matar Jug, the Slovenian referee. VAR will automatically look at this, but he was at full stretch.
I tell you, he's done well in the build-up there. Jordan James done fantastically well. He's winning the ball back, looking to supplying little ammunition for then the front three to go and play. Really good start from Jordan James.
VAR will have a look. Don't necessarily think it was a clear and obvious error, was it? Harry Wilson is still having a word with the assistant referee, but he's been told to get on with it. So clearly VAR has dismissed those penalty appeals for Wales. 1-0. Corner kick, right-hand side. Wales playing from left to right. Wilson with the corner. Plenty of pace on that. Headed out by Aykerdin. James on the half volley, left-footed, slices it over the top, goal kick.
The interesting thing as well, all Wales's bench were up after the effect, so they would have had a look at it, they would have seen it, and they would have been aggrieved.
Have you had a chance to look at it again?
It's like you say, it's not clear and obvious, so it probably has come to the right decision. But I think the more these sort of fouls are getting given, the more this pushing and shoving in the boxes, the more likelihood this referee, we know what international football's like, is likely to give something. So, it's all about Wales, as Nathan has already mentioned. The front three, forwards of Wales are causing absolute havoc.
After watching that last one last night for Ukraine against Italy, I mean, how that wasn't given after VAR, heaven only knows, as Aktoglu up towards Omar, who's getting forward, making those runs through from midfield, but it'll be a Wales free kick that Ampadu is just going to leave for Lockyer. 27 minutes played, still goalless in Zagreb. They are a minute ahead of us, by the way, but that Nico Williams goal, and what such a fine goal it was too, meaning that Wales are daring to dream. As Ward hits a flat ball through with that free kick. Badaci heads it away. Little slip by Özcan. Allows James on the ball, and he hooks it out towards that far side where he finds Nico Williams 6 yards over the halfway line. Back towards Ben Davies. Now towards Lockyer. They work it back. Central figure of that three-man defence. Here is Rodon looking for the run of Johnson, and he's timed his run well. It was an arcing run by Brennan Johnson up against Aykerdin, who flicks it away, comes towards Broadhead, touched by Wilson, out towards Williams, the goal scorer. Wales are threatening. Williams cuts inside onto his right foot. just couldn't get the angle, but keeps the ball with Wales, played it back towards Ampadu, and Wales keeping the ball so much better than they did against Armenia on Saturday.
Yeah, they are for sure in these positions where they're in their own half, but the Turkish back three don't know how to handle Wales. You know, they're playing so narrow, which is giving Connor Roberts oceans of space out here on the right-hand side. But then if the left-hand side centre-half goes tight to Connor Roberts, Brennan Johnson is in down the side, you know, every time.
Wales are almost a third of the way through what would be the perfect set of results. Leading 1-0, and half an hour in Zagreb, it remains Croatia 0, Armenia 0. It would be Turkey and Wales who would qualify from Group D as it stands. But there is still an hour of football as Rodon finds Broadhead, able to turn in space. Broadhead coming forward. Roberts on the right-hand side, look for the early cross, blocked by the legs of Özkaçar behind for a corner kick to Wales.
Big overloads in wide areas here. The front three of Turkey not really tracking back, and then with the wing-backs going on, it's really giving that overload. Full-backs can't come out because of the 210s that they're playing with in terms of Broadhead, and it's causing Turkey loads and loads of problems. Interesting tactical battle, that.
We're in the 29th minute now, and Wales have got a corner kick that Wilson is going to take on this near side, the right. Once again, there are a clutch of players just around the penalty spot, jostling for position. 4 of them in the red of Wales, looking for a second goal. Wilson waits to take it, told to hurry up, left-footed, strikes it with power towards Lockyer. Headed away though first of all by Yilmaz at the back. It runs to the edge of the area. Sarri gets ahead on it. Ampadu heads it forward, waiting for the ball to settle. There's a Welsh player who goes down, which was Brennan Johnson. Lockyer keeps it alive, and they've got a corner kick. But Johnson was bundled over there.
That looked very clumsy. First time seeing it, that looked very clumsy on Brennan Johnson. He's gone down, the ball's back in from a corner. I mean, he's just gone, he's run straight into the Turkish defenders, just run straight back into the back of Brennan Johnson. No attempt on the ball. They've got to be looking at it.
Well, the fact that I mean, again, inside the stadium, it's so frustrating because you haven't got a clue whether VAR are making a check. Meanwhile, and he's already had a blow to his knee, I don't think that Çakır, the Turkish goalkeeper, can continue. He's sitting up at the minute, surrounded by the Turkish players, so they're going to have to make a change. But he's feeling once more that left knee. But it was clumsy, wasn't it, Nathan?
Just barge into the back, you know, and I think they'll have to be looking at it. If you're looking at James, and my instant reaction is here. You've just seen it now on the screen. He's not been anywhere near the ball. Brennan's anywhere on the pitch, that's a foul, because he's got his body in the way, straight into the back of him, gone over. That is a foul anywhere else. It was
Samet Aykudin, the Fenerbahce central defender. Ben Davis, the Welsh captain, having a word with Matej Jug, the Slovenian referee. There's certainly been a lot to watch so far for the officials. We're going to have a lot of injury time, I would think, now with this the second time that Çakır has gone down. Judging by the way that the Turkish players were signalling to the bench, I don't think that he can continue.
No, it looks like they're trying to get their goalkeeper off and make a substitution, but again, it's just adding to it. It's adding to the frustration for Turkey. You've got to say, you know, it's probably the first lull in play we've had, but Wales really have started, well, not started now, have continued their good start. I'm going to give Jordan James a mention. I know Nathan's mentioned him already. I think he's been pivotal. You know, he didn't see the best of him on Saturday, but he's been wanting to get on the ball. He's closing down. He's nicking balls off the centre forward, and the whole Wales team have been excellent. But Jordan James is really making things tick.
Well, we're going to see Altay Bayındır for the first time in the UK, because he signed for Manchester United in the summer, but Onana has played all 18 games for Manchester United, although he was actually injured for Cameroon against Mauritius on Friday, was Onana. So it might be that Altay Bayındır plays against Everton at Goodison Park on Sunday. So this might be a chance for Manchester United to get him a little bit of match action late on in this first half. And there's also going to be another change as well for Turkey. So I can see that Youssef Yazıcı is going to be coming on. But first of all, it's the goalkeeper. So Çakır makes way for Bayındır. Looks a little bit in distress, does Çakır. And then the other change is Youssef Yazıcı coming on and it's the number 10 who's gone off.
It'd be interesting to see if there's a change of formation here, because I think they've been dominant. I think Wales have been dominant here, and you know, Turkey have not really laid a glove on it. And I know they don't have to win, but
well, you can tell that that's not an injury, this substitution. That has been a substitution to try and stop Wales doing what they're doing, because you can tell he's absolutely fuming coming off.
And meanwhile, VAR has clearly dismissed those penalty appeals for that clumsy challenge on Brennan Johnson. Johnson now is saying that he might have been caught there by the jumping up and down goalkeeper Bayinda, who's just come on. He's coming under a lot of pressure. It's a corner kick. Wales lead by a goal to nil. Left hand side, Bayinda under real pressure, but manages to get a left fist on that to get it away. But there is Nico Williams, and he does well. Good composure on the ball by Williams. Ben Davies slides it forward, and the referee gets in the way. So this will be an uncontested drop ball for Wales midway through the Turkey half. Wales really have unsettled the Group D leaders Turkey. 1-0 to Wales. Davis looks to take it quickly towards Brennan Johnson. Cut out though by Ikandin. Back it goes to Bodakci. Out it to the right hand side for Kadıoğlu. Given the ball away. Ampadu now could come forward for Wales. A little bit off balance, and the referee spotted that, tried to let the game flow, brings it back. Wales throw. James.
Yeah, again, it's Wales defending well, defending in numbers and communication. You know, every time Turkey are on the ball, Wales are looking around. The three centre halves are talking to Jordan James and Ethan Ampadu, and you've got to say, you know, I don't want to jinx things here, but Turkey, other than a couple of long balls that have been close, you know, they haven't really created anything.
So this free kick for Wales, it's about 6 yards forward of the centre circle. Wales still lead by a goal to nil. It remains Croatia nil, Armenia nil. They've played 36 minutes in Zagreb. Harry Wilson chips it, looking for the header down of Ben Davies, and it runs wide. There's been a goal at Goodison Park. Chris Coles.
It's taken longer than expected, but England have it, leading Northern Ireland 1-0. Tyler Morton, the lad from Liverpool, lovely finish from the edge of the penalty area. England 1, Northern Ireland 0.
And that would take England level with Ukraine at the top of their group. Group F, the European champions, of course, after the success for Lee Carsley and his team in the summer. Lee Carsley back at Goodison Park as a former Evertonian. Here we are in the Cardiff City Stadium, where Wales are leading by a goal to nil. 10 minutes to go to half-time. Lockyer does well. Yilmaz had gone down, claiming that he'd been caught by the Luton Town defender, but the referee waves that away. Ball then played by Özcan, forward by Yüksek. Now taking over is the substitute, Yazici, out towards Sarri, right-hand side. Sarri with the cross, and it came back, and it popped up off an outstretched leg of Aksakoglu.
That class is a shot on target.
He dealt with it well, didn't he? If it was, could have gone anywhere, really. And that's, although you think back as well to that save that he made late on, from, was it Sevyakan at the weekend? I mean, that would have been a different complexion altogether, wasn't it?
Yeah, it would have. He's a great save, and another one in Danny Ward. You know, been around the Wales squad for a long time, got his chance. Obviously, we relied on Wayne Hennessy massively for years. Every time he comes in, he does well for Wales.
Here is Ampadu. Armenia also hit the crossbar late on in that second half in that 1-1 draw at the weekend. Johnson unable to hang on to the ball. Ampadu though has it. Challenge comes in on this occasion from Yüksek. Wales play, switch it out towards the far side, towards Williams. Williams shown on the outside of Kadıoğlu, who recovers, plays it forward to Özcan. Özcan back to the Turkish right back, and now towards the Manchester United goalkeeper Bayinda, who signed a 4-year deal from Fenerbahce. This is his first time playing a Euro qualifier. The Manchester United goalkeeper hasn't been selected, the third different goalkeeper that Turkey have used in what has been a very successful qualifying campaign, despite the fact that they fired Stefan Kuntz in September after a 1-1 draw against Armenia, and then in a friendly they lost 4-2 to Japan, and the Turkish Federation had had enough as Özkoçar.
There you go.
That's what you said about his touch, wasn't it?
Sorry, I have to apologise to Chris Coleman as well. It's been a good night so far.
Here is Lockyer for Wales. 7 minutes to go to half-time. Roberts closed down. Back to Rodon.
They have changed formation, Turkey. There's no doubt about it. I think they've gone more to a flat back four to try and compensate Connor Roberts getting forward and the sort of the runs in the gap between the right, but the left centre half and the middle centre half, because every time Wales got the ball, Turkey looked vulnerable, and they've changed to a flat back four.
Here is Williams now coming forward for Wales. There's a little step over, left corner of the area. Couldn't get over the cross. Kadalulu will bring the ball away for Turkey, and now finds Özkaçar to run forward. Now his diagonal pass will find Yazıcı over the halfway line on that far side, the right. Turkey in all white, playing from right to left. Sarri's ahead of him. Early cross comes in, but there was Lockyer doing just enough, and then it was swept to safety by the Welsh defence.
Turkey just coming into it slightly. You know, they had a little minute of pressure. It's only a minute of pressure, but then with Wales committing bodies and them leaving people upfield, it allowed them to counter and maybe get a little bit more control in the game. Because as up until now, it's been Wales who've controlled everything.
That's sort of come from them pinning Connor Roberts back, though. You know, when you know you're playing against a team where the right wing back is playing almost as a centre forward, it's naturally going to put you on the back foot. Now they've changed formation, they can get a little foothold in the game.
But actually looking for the run of Yilmaz. We'll run out of play for a goal kick. Yilmaz and Rodon just maybe a little bit of something afterwards. The referee again is quickly on the scene. Nathan, you know, and you and James have talked about Turkey making the formation change. So if you're in Rob Page's position now, do you alter your way that you're playing, or do you just think keep as we're doing to try and counter what they've done?
No, I think look, they've changed to counter Wales. Now look, you'll see how things go, and there might be subtle tweaks, but the tactical battle is really interesting. Obviously we're playing with a back 4-3-3 against a 3-4-3. It's been a real tactical battle which Wales have been winning so far. They've had to tweak it, which, you know, how dominant Wales were, you'd expect an experienced manager to do something like that. So it'd be interesting to see how it unfolds.
Wales still lead by a goal to nil. They have 4 minutes to go to half-time in Zagreb, and it remains goalless there. Özcan, James makes an excellent sliding challenge on the Dortmund midfielder. Rob Page will not be on ball boy duties here. He leaves it for Özcan to retrieve himself. Yüksek, out it goes to that far side. Kadiolu waits for the ball to settle midway through his own half. Akaydin, the central defender, will go square to Abdulkerim Badakci of Galatasaray. Short forward ball, Özcan. And now the atmosphere inside the Cardiff City Stadium. Yama Ohid. It means still here. And if Croatia need any reminding, Wales are certainly still here, alive and kicking in Group D as they lead by a goal to nil. The Welsh voices looking to see the players just to half-time, just to keep them going as Turkey coming back into the game. Kadiolu with a cross. Özkaçar left-hand side of the penalty area, look for the early cross, swept away by Rodon. 4 minutes to go to the break.
Really important to get to the break here. It seems like Turkey, as I said, the change has been good for Turkey. As James has said, they've pinned the wing-backs back with a front three and with one dropping in, and they're starting to have a little bit of play now.
This is Sarri, far side the right. Özcan midway through the Wales half. Wales have dropped off, with the exception of Brennan Johnson. More or less every Welsh player is back behind the ball as the home side lead by a goal to nil. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Aktakolu, Özkaçar near side the left, laid off by Yüksek. Every outfield player now is in the... Oh, got some bad news from Zagreb. Croatia have taken the lead just before half-time as the cross comes in, and it might fall to Aktakolu, and his left-footed effort is off target. So whilst Wales are doing their part, Croatia have scored in Zagreb and are leading Armenia by a goal to nil.
Yeah, it's a bitter blow. You know, obviously, like we just mentioned, in this game, Turkey getting a little bit on top. Wales need to get into half-time. We mentioned it before the game. Wales have just got to concentrate on their job. Like you said, it's bitter news coming from Zagreb, but we've still got to concentrate on our game and do the job at the Cardiff City Stadium.
So now all of a sudden Wales are looking for an Armenian equaliser in Zagreb. Budimir has scored after 43 minutes in Zagreb. Wales still lead by a goal to nil. And when I'm sure that news filters around the Cardiff City Stadium, this 28,000 all-seater stadium, not a spare seat to be seen, then, with the exception of the segregation, the sharp-eyed Nathan Jones. Oh, and the two...
And the...
Johnson hits it down into the ground, left-footed, and Bayenda. And the two Croatian journalists who didn't turn up. But apart from that, there isn't a spare seat to be seen.
Always a killjoy, yeah. It was always a killjoy.
But that might just take a little bit of the edge off the excitement for Wales. But other than that, it has been a faultless first half performance from Wales.
It has, and exactly what we spoke about before the game, exactly what they needed to do.
Here is Brennan Johnson, looking for the support of Harry Wilson, played a yard behind him. Aktakolu, high ball out towards that far side. Davies gets there first and attacks it, headed forward, and he forces the right back Cariolo to turn. And we haven't seen as yet. There'll be another 60 seconds before we see the fourth official. But now, as Yilmaz makes the run, and Ward has come out of his penalty area and just gets there. Yilmaz just tried to tickle it past him with an outstretched left foot, but Ward, his left-footed clearance was forceful. Out of play, goes for a throw. You were wincing, James.
Yeah, because if the Turkish centre forward touches the ball there, I think Danny Ward might have been in the dressing room.
They're in injury time in Zagreb, where it remains 1-0 to Croatia. Here is Akaydin, Yüksek, Cariolo is ahead of him, the right back. Özcan, little touch now for Yazigi. Özcan, back out to Cariolo. Dark-haired right back, runs forward, looking for the run of Yazigi. He's made it into the right side of the penalty area. Plays it back, keeps it in play. Sarri, working it now sharply, then it breaks down. And Wilson couldn't find Johnson, had already made a run, looking for space in behind the right back. But Dakci will let one fly from long range. Block comes in from Ampadu as Yilmaz picks it up. And Turkey now are probably having their best spell of the half?
Absolutely. Look, it's the momentum has changed, and as you said, it's really important that they get into half-time now with that lead intact. And there's nothing they can do about Zagreb. They have to concentrate. Right now, they're doing everything they can possibly do, and it's important that they don't let that slip and let any negativity coming from there or that news dampen their performance, because the last thing we want is to allow Turkey to get an equaliser.
That's the voice of the former Luton Town, Stoke City and Southampton manager Nathan Jones with us here on BBC Radio 5 Live. James Collins, 51 caps for his countries alongside me to my left. 4 minutes of added on time. And then Rob Page will, well, he said it in the pre-match press conference yesterday, he can only concentrate, we can only control what we have to control. And in that sense, his team, James, are doing exactly that.
Yeah, it's been absolutely perfect what they needed to do. It's been very controlled performance early on. You know, Wales took advantage of Turkey's, obviously got the formation on. Wales were on the attack. It's taken one little change from the manager, a tactical substitution from Turkey, and they look a lot more comfortable. So, as Nathan said, it'd be important for Wales to get into the dressing room at half-time, just to settle it all down and take stock and go again in the second half.
The other interesting aspect, which we haven't touched upon as yet in Group D, is that as it stands, with Croatia winning, they would actually finish top of Group D, ahead of Turkey, and Turkey then would drop into pot 3, with Scotland, Slovakia, the Netherlands, Czech Republic and Slovenia for the seeds for when that draw is made for Euro 2024. You'll hear all of that on BBC Radio 5 Live on December the 2nd. It happens in the evening, the early evening out in Hamburg. John Murray, our correspondent, will be in Germany to give us all the details and provide all the reaction. And it would mean that Wales are looking at a playoff against either Finland, Ukraine or Iceland. Their opponents would be known on Thursday morning, because UEFA need to draw to see which team will go into Path A of the playoffs. Wales know at least they would be home for that single leg semi-final, and then would either play Poland or Estonia in the playoff final should they progress against one of those three sides. But that could all change in the second half. There is so much riding on this final set of fixtures in the qualifying campaign for Euro 2024. Wilson caught by Özkoçar. Free kick to Wales.
good opportunity for Wales. This, you know, last couple of seconds of the first half, you know, a real opportunity, you know, for real quality ball into the box, get the centre backs forward and have one last chance in this first half.
I can tell you they've reached half-time in Zagreb, and Croatia are leading Armenia by 1-0. This, though, presents Wales with an opportunity, with just over 60 seconds remaining of added on time, to increase their lead, as Wilson is joined by Broadhead. About 6 yards in from the right touchline, midway through the Turkey half, this free kick. Wales all in red, leading by 1-0, playing from left to right. Turkey have a line of white shirts on the edge of their penalty area. Wilson leaves it, Broadhead, right-footed, arcs its way in towards the penalty area, over the head of Ampadu, and all the way out of play for a throw on the far side. Nathan Jones.
Yeah, a little wasted one there. I would have probably preferred Harry Wilson take that, put it in and in around the keeper. He hasn't had much to do since he's come on, which would have settled him down slightly. But as I said, we're coming now to half-time, and it's been a real productive half for Wales.
We heard from Mike Peters ahead of the game, and I can't take my eyes off you, that Frankie Valli ditty. First time I've taken my eyes off the phone and the update scores of from Zagreb, knowing that they're now at half-time. I've never refreshed and typed in my passcode so often as I have in this first half.
A watch pot never boils, apparently, so they say, don't they? Talking of pots, we've just been brought a coffee with no sugar in it.
That's a yellow card offence, surely, for our producer George. There is the half-time whistle, and Wales are doing all that they can do, and it was a fine goal by Nico Williams to give them an early lead. Turkey have come back into it, but in many ways Danny Ward really hasn't been overly stretched from the Group D leaders, but the scoreline from Zagreb means, with Croatia leading Armenia by 1-0, that it is Croatia who will finish top of the group. Turkey would finish second, and Wales would be destined for the playoffs. I'm sure, Kelly, you want to talk to James and Nathan more, but half-time, it's Wales who are 1-0 up.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ian Dennis, our commentator in Cardiff for us this evening. James Collins and Nathan Jones alongside him. Nathan, it was such a fast start from Wales. They couldn't have done anything more.
No, look, it's exactly what they would have wanted, exactly what Rob would have wanted. Came out of the traps, every little thing they did drew a response. Every time they got in the final third, they had an outcome, whether it be a throw, a corner or a shot, and then the goal came really on the run of play. Really impressed with Wales, how they've gone about it, and to be fair, everyone's played their part, but been really impressed by the young players. You know, you look at the two midfield players, no real experience in there. Jordan James, Ethan Ampadu is the most experienced at a fledgling age, and the front three, we've got a big future ahead of them for Wales and club, have done fantastically well. What we can't do now is sit back and allow Turkey to come and really grasp the momentum.
No, because Turkey have sort of got a bit wise to what Wales want to do in this game, but the way they set up, James, was absolutely perfect.
Yeah, it was, and Turkey were really struggling with it. You know, the two wing backs for Wales were playing really high, and the two sitting midfielders for Wales were picking balls up when Turkey were trying to play the long ball. So tactically wise, from Rob Page, you know, the first certainly 30 minutes worked an absolute treat. Turkey got wise to it. They made a substitution and changed the formation from a back three to a back four to accommodate, you know, the space that Connor Roberts was finding down this right hand side. So certainly the last 15 minutes of the first half, you know, we saw Turkey come back into it. Good time for half time for Wales, so Rob Page can get his players sat down and reevaluate it.
It has been, in many ways in Cardiff, a great first half from Wales. They lead by 1-0, but it's not going to help them this evening if the scoreline stays the same way in Croatia, where they are leading Armenia by 1-0. Wales need to hold on to that advantage in Cardiff, and they need Armenia to get back into that game in Croatia if they're to qualify for the Euros automatically. England's under-21s taking on Northern Ireland's under-21s. Chris Coles is watching the game at Goodison.
And England have a 1-goal lead. It's been a dominant half from the young Lions, albeit they've found a resilient Northern Ireland extremely difficult to play through. Hence just a 1 goal. It came from a poor clearance straight to Tyler Morton on the edge of the box, and he arrowed it into the corner for his first England goal. No doubt a deserved lead, but Lee Carsley will want a lot more ingenuity from his team in the second half to ensure the points, which they'll need, given group leaders Ukraine have already made it 5 wins from 5 this evening, beating Azerbaijan, meaning any slip-up for England here would put Ukraine firmly in control of the group. But as it stands, England in front, and they'll remain in second. They're leading Northern Ireland by 1-0 in this under-21 Euro qualifier.
Chris Coles, for now, thank you very much. Chris will keep us up to date with everything that happens in that one. Of course, Ian Dennis and the team in Cardiff will keep us up to date with what happens with Wales as they fight for that final automatic qualifying place for Euro 2024. There's a game taking place in League One this evening as well. It's half-time between Leyton Orient and Lincoln City. No goals as yet in that mid-table clash. Coming up, we will hear from Lionesses boss Serena Wiegman after the latest BBC News with Lisa McCormick.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Israel's Prime Minister says the war in Gaza will continue even if an agreement is reached to release the hostages taken by Hamas on the 7th of October. Benjamin Netanyahu's holding a series of meetings with his war cabinet to discuss the deal. The BBC understands a total of 50 Israeli hostages will be freed under the proposed agreement. Oliver McTernan's a former hostage negotiator who now runs a conflict mediation group.
The two targets that Prime Minister Netanyahu has set himself are incompatible. You can't, on the one hand, talk about destroying the people who are holding the hostages, and on the other hand, talking about releasing them. Someone needs to sit him down and say, look, everyone is traumatized by what has happened. Let's think rationally.
The Scottish Parliament's backed a motion that calls for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. The SNP First Minister Humza Yousaf has condemned Hamas's attacks on the 7th of October, but called for MSPs to take a stand against the collective punishment of Palestinians. Police searching for 4 missing teenagers in North West Wales have found 4 bodies in an overturned car in Gwynedd. The group had travelled from Shrewsbury at the weekend for a camping trip in Snowdonia. England's Chief Medical Officer, Professor Sir Chris Whitty, said the first lockdown in March 2020 was imposed a bit too late. He's told the COVID inquiry that public health issues meant it was important to be cautious and that going too early also posed a risk. The British Library says the data of some of its employees has been stolen in a cyber attack. A ransomware group claims to be behind the hack and says it'll sell the information unless it receives nearly £600,000 worth of Bitcoin. The library's website has also been down since the attack 3 weeks ago. Professor Edith Hall is from Durham University. She says it's having a serious impact on students.
Losing all of November, as my students, especially my PhD students, have already done, is absolutely catastrophic. It's absolutely crippling. I have a PhD student who is having to go to the Bibliothèque Nationale in Paris.
Professor Edith Hall there from Durham University on that British Library hack.
My name's Joe Wilkinson and I'm doing a podcast because I love football. But what I love more is the idea of being friends with a professional footballer. The footballer I'd like to be friends with is Patrick Bamford. Hello, Patrick. Will you be my friend?
That's yet to be decided.
OK, not what I was hoping.
My Mate's a Footballer is a new BBC Sounds podcast with me, Patrick Bamford and Joe Wilkinson.
Some days he'll hate it, other days he won't, and eventually he will fall in love with me.
Search for My Mate's a Footballer on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport with Kelly Cates.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Our commentary match this evening comes to you from the Cardiff City Stadium where Wales are taking on Turkey. They lead by 1-0 as they bid to become the final team to qualify automatically for Euro 2024. However, in Croatia, they lead Armenia by 1-0. Wales need a draw or Armenia to win in order for them to progress, if they can hold on to their own lead. We'll be back there for second half commentary very shortly. Arsenal striker Beth Mead is back in the England squad after a year out through injury. She's in Serena Wiegman's 23-player squad for next month's Women's Nations League matches against the Netherlands and Scotland. And here's what the England boss had to say about her return.
First of all, I'm very pleased for her, of course, and she has done well. Of course, last month we already had discussions. I don't think she was ready then. She just started playing, and now over this month she got a lot more minutes. She showed some good performances, and it's good to have her back.
And for her, she must be thrilled. It's been a very difficult year, fitting that she had her first start on the anniversary of her really serious injury, and it rounds off what has been a very difficult year for her quite nicely.
Well, of course, such an injury is hard. It takes you out for basically a year. And so that's very nice to have her back. And then besides that, she also had, of course, some very sad personal circumstances. So now she's in a positive situation, moving forward, playing well, enjoying it. That's what you can see, and she keeps building. And it's always nice when someone is so happy to come back. And I stayed in touch, of course, with Beth all the time. And she had made me. She called me a couple of times. Well, I'm ready. I said, well, you have to be patient a little more. Yes, I'm on my way. So it's really good to be in this situation now.
And what do you want to see from your camp this time around that maybe you didn't see last time? What specific improvements would you like to see?
Well, what I said after the Belgium game, the second Belgium game, is that the results in Belgium, in Leuven, did not reflect on how our camp was, because I thought we had a very good camp and we got really close with the team, and the way we trained and how we wanted to play, I think we really tried to do. So, we just have to step up from that and do it even more, and do that smart, of course. In the game, we showed that, we create chances, but at moments we need to have the final pass better, or the last pass, or the final touch to get the ball in the back of the net. We need to do a little better in the final third. And we had moments that we lost the ball. We don't expect to lose the ball, and then you're always expensive, and that makes it hard. So we have to do those moments better to make the chance of getting a high score higher.
That was England manager Sarina Wiegman with the BBC's Chris Coles. Hello to former Arsenal defender and England captain Faye White, who joins us now. Evening, Faye.
Evening.
Faye, they've been looking forward to Beth Mead returning, but for you, how much of a boost is it going to give to the Lionesses?
Oh, yeah, huge, isn't it? Obviously, after a display for England in the Euros, everyone knows her now. She obviously won, the sports personality and things like that. But yeah, it's a quality, isn't it? And that, what Sarina was talking about, the clinicalness, Beth Mead gives that in abundance. Not only is she great at assists, but she can finish too. But it'll be a massive boost for her too, because obviously through those long days of injury, you dream and you focus on getting back first in an Arsenal shirt and then back for your country. You know, there's always that question mark whether you're going to be able to because of that type of injury, but it's that motivation, and she'll be, ecstatic now she's back and underway and just getting on with the rest of her career.
And if she's looking for extra motivation, she just needs to look at where England's campaign has gone, because they need to win both games now to stand a chance of topping the group. Is Beth Mead the difference? Have they stuttered because they miss what she specifically gives them?
Well, no, obviously we've got Leah out as well. Frank Kirby was, but she came back into it. So, almost your spine of your team was out with injury, wasn't it, for the World Cup? But the team still did brilliantly. But obviously a bit of a dip since the World Cup, and what is hard games, going straight back into another qualifying kind of set of games. Obviously I always think you were going to miss Beth Mead's finishing. But I don't think she'll start her. I wouldn't. You look at the forwards that she has and the wide players that she has available. It would be a big ask. I know she's going to play again for Arsenal this weekend. She probably will start, get more minutes. But would she start her for England? I'm not sure. But I was at the game at the Emirates when Beth made her return as a sub against Villa. They were 1-0 down and they ended up winning 2-1. So she had an impact in one of those goals as well. So I think she would be a great addition to bring off the bench in that Netherlands game at Wembley. She likes a big occasion as well, but to put it all on her to start, I'm not so sure yet. I'm not, I don't think Sarina might do that, but yeah, no, I think her quality in finishing can be a key to get the points that they need.
She wants to have those established players in the squad, even if someone like Beth Mead isn't going to get all the minutes and isn't maybe quite match fit enough to play all the minutes. But Faye, look, she's talked about the importance of these two fixtures, and that's why she's gone for experience in terms of, 16 of the 23 were selected for Euro 2022?
Yeah, these are two huge games, isn't it? Obviously, the qualifying for the Olympics hangs on England getting into, to the next, out of this group as the top one. They're 3 points behind the Dutch, so they need to beat both the Dutch and Scotland. And it is, you need big game players, don't you? Players that are going to be able to just go on produce. Yeah, there's been other younger players that have been performing well. like Beaver Jones, that you think might have got into the squad because she's been playing well for Chelsea. But it's not a time. Like, I agree with Serena what she said. It's not a time for experimenting. It's about getting what your strongest team and squad is, and adding Beth into that. I think it will be a bit. I heard the roar of the fans when she come on at the Emirates, and when you hear that at Wembley, it's only going to lift the team as well, I think.
And even if she's not playing every minute, she still can be a huge player for England as they hope to build on that qualifying campaign and get those 2 wins that they need to qualify for the Euros. Thank you very much to Faye White for joining us. Thank you, Faye.
Thank you.
England looking to top the group there, but they do need to win, as Faye was saying, their games against the Netherlands and against Scotland. Elsewhere in football, Newcastle will be able to sign players on loan from sides also controlled by their Saudi owners in January. It's after a vote by Premier League clubs on a temporary ban on loan moves between teams under the same ownership did not receive the required support. 13 clubs voted for the ban, which was just one short of the 2/3 majority needed. The Premier League was understood to be in favour of introducing the ban, which was proposed as a temporary measure until a concrete solution could be agreed before the summer transfer window. The International Cricket Council has banned transgender women from playing in international women's matches under new regulations. Any player who's gone through male puberty will not be eligible for women's internationals, regardless of any surgery or treatment undertaken. The ICC said they will review the new regulations within 2 years. And Hayley Turner has become the first female jockey in Europe to ride 1,000 winners. She reached the milestone on Tradesman, trained by David Simcock at Chelmsford. In Cardiff this evening, Wales are looking to become the final team to qualify automatically for Euro 2024. They're about to kick off their second half of their game against Turkey. Nathan Jones, James Collins and Ian Dennis are there.
Thank you, Lady Kelly. I've got to say that Nathan Jones and James Collins must be the two most relieved men inside the Cardiff City Stadium as you handed over to us then, because at one stage I thought I was going to hold the fort on my own as the two of them were posing for photos and signing autographs at the half-time interval. But as the referee has delayed that, they're back in position, their headphones are on, and we're ready for the second half. And I can tell you that Turkey have made a change, and Nathan won't be surprised to know that Uzkacar has gone off and he's been replaced by Zeki Çelik. So he comes on at right back, and it now means that Kariolo, who played as left back against Germany at the weekend, switches to that far side, the left. So Wales are leading by a 1-0. The other news to tell you, Croatia still leading by a 1-0, but they are 5 minutes ahead of this game here. So if Armenia were to get an equaliser, then we would know it'd all be done and dusted with 5 minutes remaining. But as it stands, Wales leading 1-0, but Croatia leading by a 1-0. It will be Croatia and Turkey who qualify from Group D. And indeed, Croatia would qualify as Group D winners. And the upshot of that for the seeds is that regardless, with Wales out of the equation, for anybody listening of an Italian persuasion, Italy now are likely to be in pot 4 for the draw on the 2nd of December. But all things can change. Only one goal in Zagreb could change everything, but equally just as it could here as Turkey trail. And I'll give you a run through the two teams. Danny Ward in goal for Wales, who are all in red, playing from right to left as we look in the second half. Three central defenders of Rodon, Lockyer and Davis. The wing-backs, Roberts and Nico Williams, the goal scorer, right and left respectively. Ampadu, Jordan James, Harry Wilson, Nathan Broadhead and Brennan Johnson. As for Turkey, substitute goalkeeper Altay Bayındır of Manchester United on in the first half. Now we've got Çelik and Kadiolu as the full-backs, Badakci and Aydin as the two central defenders, Yüksek, Özcan, Yazıcı, Yilmaz, Sarri and Akatoğlu for Turkey. So, gentlemen, what do you think at the start of the second half? Nathan?
It's been a bit of a momentum shift, you can see. Now Wales have I wouldn't say sat back in, but they've pinned them back in now, Turkey. And it's been a different start from obviously the first half. And it's important really that Wales, I think really this first 10 minutes start with a real energy, real get back in and build into that game and then wrestle back that momentum, because they can't afford to sit back in now and just hope to win this 1-0.
Yeah, I think you can see that Turkey are going to come out and try and score a goal. They're pushing the full-backs right on, trying to pin Wales in, which, on the other hand, will give Wales opportunities to hit them on the break. So You know, it's early stages of the second half. Wales are obviously in the lead 1-0. They're not in a major rush to score a goal, but they're going to have to be patient. But I think they will get opportunities, knowing that Turkey are going to push players forward.
Well, Akta Olu is on that far side, the left. They've got Yilmaz through the middle. They've got Yazici in support and Sarri on this near side, the right. So they did change it. Vincenzo Montella, the Italian, who at the minute is heading for his first defeat in just his 4th game in charge since he was appointed in September. As for Rob Page, Wales, well, if they want to take momentum into the playoffs, this would be 6 games unbeaten, be their longest run since 21-22 when they went 9 undefeated. But it is the playoffs for the Euros, the route that beckons at the moment, as Akaydin steps forward out of defence. Yilmaz passes the ball out towards that far side. Kadiolu trying to turn but unable to do so, and they've lost the ball, and Broadhead feeds it forward to Brennan Johnson, who takes it early, and Bayinda makes the save. Low down to his right, sharp goalkeeping, but equally sharp play by Wales.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. You know, Turkey trying to play out, Wales nicking it back. One pass from Harry Wilson, I believe, into Brennan Johnson. He's took the shot early. He's almost caught the goalkeeper out. He's took it so early across the face of the goal. It's going to nestle in the bottom corner, but it's a great save.
I remember the game against Ukraine here for that World Cup playoff game. I think Johnson rattled the post, didn't he, in that particular game when they won by a 0-0. Corner kick in towards the near post, didn't beat the first man. The referee has blown his whistle, and it will be a free kick to Turkey. Well, then a second goal would have really settled the nerves into everything that Wales can wish for inside this stadium.
Absolutely, and that's all they can concentrate on, you know. I think the atmosphere will change if Armenia, for example, score a goal. But right now, look, they haven't got to do anything special. They just got to make sure that they don't just sit back in and invite the pressure on.
It's interesting that when we were joking earlier about the every seat more or less being filled apart from the segregation, and I said earlier in the first half commentary about a number of Turkish supporters inside the Welsh sections here in the Cardiff City Stadium as the move breaks down for Turkey. That segregation is now being used as an overflow for about, I don't know, 20, 30 Turkish supporters who are being escorted into that area. I mean, I remember at Old Trafford in the Champions League earlier in the season, 2,000 Galatasaray fans were in the Manchester United home end. As here is Sarri on this near side, the right. Sarri with a cross into the penalty area, headed out to Özcan, off his chest and on the volley, and that's off target. And the stewards actually getting involved in the Turkish end in that quadrant on the far side. So we had a little bit of needle on the pitch in the first half, and there might just be getting a little fractious in that stand on that far side as well, as more stewards are running forward in their luminous jackets in that corner. BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. A goal at Goodison. England's under-21s against their Northern Irish counterparts. Chris Coles.
A second for England from the left foot of Harvey Elliott. Brilliant free kick, 25 yards out, flighted over the wall, crashed into the back of the net. England have started this second half well, and now they have a 2-goal lead over Northern Ireland.
Thank you, Chris. BBC Radio 5 Live. More live football later this week. On Thursday night, Chelsea against Paris in the Women's Champions League. And then when Mark Chapman is back on 5 Live Sport on Saturday, Newcastle United, Chelsea from 3, Brentford, Arsenal at 5:30, and 5 Live Premier League Sunday, Tottenham, Aston Villa at 2, to be followed by Everton, Manchester United at 4:30. But this is the Euro 2024 qualifier. We're in Cardiff. Wales lead Turkey by 1-0, but Croatia are still leading in Zagreb 1-0 also.
Yeah, you can sort of feel the fans know the score out in Zagreb. It's certainly not as lively in the stadium as it was down to probably the start. Certainly hasn't been as fast as the first half, but it's a bit of a lull. You know, like I said, Wales haven't got a push for a goal, but a bit quiet in here now.
Wilson to Williams. Ball wouldn't go with him, just stuck a little bit. Now he feeds it towards Broadhead with his back to goal out on this near left touch line. Ben Davies, the Welsh captain. Lockyer now inside the centre circle, goes short and square. Joe Rodon back towards the Luton Town defender with his dark hair. Davies passes the ball, Broadhead finds the space. He's done well, the Ipswich Town player. 6 goals that he scored in the Championship for Ipswich, are having an excellent season. As the ball from Williams tried to be wrapped into the feet of Brennan Johnson. Turkey clear it, picked up by Ampadu. He passes the ball out towards Connor Roberts. Here is Wilson, carves the ball through. Ampadu back to Wilson, goes down. Referee says get up. Referee will have a good view of that, and now gives a free kick in favour of Turkey.
Didn't seem to have another look at that. Did he catch him after the...
Yazaji has been shown a yellow card for dissent. It was a nice little interchange though, wasn't it, from Wales?
It looked, initial look, it looked like Harry Wilson towed the ball and then the defender caught here. I think, he's gone to make a tackle. I think Harry Wilson has probably made a little bit much of it, but he's dangled a leg, the Turkish defender.
So just making a note of that in his book is the Slovenian referee. The Netherlands are now 4-0 up in Gibraltar. Gibraltar 0, Netherlands 4. Netherlands will be in pot 3. I mean, there is the potential now for the customary group of death, with Italy in pot 4, the Netherlands in pot 3. As it stands, Croatia would be in pot 2, and then you could have a whole host of top sides in pot 1, the host Germany, Portugal, France, Spain, Belgium and England. Wales would have to navigate their way through the playoffs, and that will be decided on Thursday morning, if of course it comes to that. Armenia could yet come and rescue Wales, as Wilson with the interception. Running forward, no real outlet on the left-hand side, and now all of a sudden it appears in the shape of the goal scorer, Williams, level with the penalty area. 2 have gone with him. Williams keeping the ball well, gets a little shove in the back, keeps his strength, keeps the ball in play. No foul, says the referee. And instead, Yüksek switches it out towards that far side, the left, for Kadiolu. Özcan plays it back. The referee seems to have, whether there's something in his, maybe he didn't get any sugar in his half-time cup of tea, because he just seems to have changed. In the first half he was letting everything go. He seems to be a little bit more pedantic now.
I bet he had a spoon though.
Don't tell me you didn't get a spoon as well.
I eventually got sugar and then didn't have a spoon, had to do it with my finger. Lucky it's -4 here.
You could tell he's been a manager, can't you? Moaning about his coffee and stuff like that.
Yeah, sometimes you just forget where you come from.
Can't get the staff sometimes, man.
No, you can't. I didn't even get a drink at all.
You could have mine.
Here is Celik. 1-0 to Wales. Badakci. Kadiolu. Turkey with Badakci once again. Wales have dropped off, everybody back now, protecting the lead that could still be yet so precious. But Turkey seeing a lot more of the ball. They had that spell before the half-time, as Badakci once again looks for the run over the top towards Yilmaz, headed away by Lockyer. Yazaji falling to his ground, hooks it to the right side of the penalty area for Celik, and it runs behind. Corner kick to Turkey, 1-0 to Wales.
You feel like they're quite comfortable, the Wales, sat in, just, letting Turkey have the ball on their own halfway line, almost expecting the long ball. We mentioned it first half, that's all they sort of did. We're looking for the 30, 40, 50-yard pass over the top. So Wales are quite happy at the minute, letting Turkey keep the ball in their own half.
Akçakolu with the outswinging corner kick, met by Rodon, headed it away well. Bounces away from Williams, and it will be a Turkey throw on this near side, the right. We've been playing for 56 minutes. They've been playing for an hour in Zagreb, and it's still 1-0 to Croatia, as Turkey are going to be making another change, and it's going to be the Juventus teenager who's going to be coming on, as Akçakolu to Yüksek, just runs with the ball forward into a central area, then passes it to Badakci. Diagonal ball back out to this near side, the right. Williams heads it out of play, and it will go out for a Turkey throw that Sarri will take quickly. Here is Özcan of Borussia Dortmund. Celik, the Roma defender, with a good ball in. Rodon heads it away. Wilson will just try and steer his header to take him away from Kadiolu. He's closed down by the now left back for Turkey. They've given the ball away, of Wales. Badakci, Turkey on top, but trailing by a goal to nil. Sarri, overlap, Celik with the early cross, and then it was Ampadu running back to his own goal behind for a corner kick.
Definitely having their best period, Turkey. Since the second half, they've been, keeping possession and getting in quite a lot down this right-hand side. So this is a time in the game where Wales really have got to concentrate communications, defend this set plays well.
It's going to be another attacking change, though, for the Kenan Yildiz to come on, 18 years of age. Juventus picked him up on a free from Bayern Munich as the corner swung over, beaten out by Ward. Fantastic header to keeper Akaydin, because he really did attack that, the central defender, and Ward just repelled it instinctively.
Anywhere either side into the goal, he got a real good connection, real good timing, but headed straight at Ward.
He did really well, Danny Ward, standing up, but he's got to score. He's probably 4 yards out, pretty much with a free header. Rodon's doing his best to challenge him, but as Nathan says, anywhere other than straight at Danny Ward, that's a goal.
So Kenan Yildiz is going to come on to replace Barış Yilmaz. It's going to be like for like. The 18-year-old, only his third appearance for the Turkish national side. He scored his first goal against Germany on Saturday in that 3-2 win. He signed a deal in Turin till 2027 after leaving Bayern on a free. Let's get an update from Goodison Park. Chris Coles.
England 2, Northern Ireland 0, 59 minutes played. England in complete control of the scoreboard and the game. They're keeping very comfortable possession, and there are more goals in this if they just up the intensity. England 2, Northern Ireland 0.
Thank you, Chris. BBC Radio 5 Live, BBC Sounds. We're approaching the hour mark here, where Croatia are still leading by 1-0, but I noticed that Romania are 1-0 up against Switzerland. Both those two sides have already qualified, but that will determine who goes into pot 2 and pot 4, and it will be Romania going into pot 2 at the moment as Ampadu runs forward out from midfield. Johnson turns, brings it under control, passes the ball out wide. Roberts forward, bit of space there. Not quite the hour mark yet we've reached in Cardiff as Harry Wilson now takes over. Wilson with a cross, Ampadu with a header, and Bayinda got back. For a moment I thought that was goal bound, and then the Manchester United goalkeeper with a two-handed catch.
Yeah, just probably wasn't enough on the cross, and it was a static jump, so couldn't get the power or the direction needed to trouble the keeper. But again, a good move, and as I said, Turkey have had a little bit of pressure, but nothing. Wales are comfortable here. It's a real shame that this doesn't just do it for them, because I said they're really, really comfortable with it tonight.
The Leeds United player was dreaming of scoring his first goal for his country there.
Yeah, as Nathan said, he had to generate all the power. Probably back across, a little floated header back across might have helped.
Well, the Turkish supporters in the away section, 2,000 of them, as Turkey with Çelik, have started singing, and then there must be close to 100 away towards our right-hand side. I knew that they'd infiltrated the large areas of the home support, as here is Kariolu out towards the left now, and it wasn't able to turn for Yildiz. What's he given? Goal kick. For a minute I thought he'd given a corner.
I think the Wales players did, the way they reacted. Everyone was waving their arms about, and then I think he did change his mind and gave a goal kick.
So 1-0 in Zagreb, 1-0 in Cardiff. Brooks is going to be coming on, Rob Page is going to be making a change, and it's going to be Broadhead who's coming off, Nathan Broadhead. And an appreciation from one Nathan from another.
Absolutely, I think he's done fantastically well. He really did. First half he was excellent, set the tone. We're coming inside, having a shot, then and quickly afterwards Wales took the lead, but I think he's been excellent in that position, and to bring a player of Brooks' quality on as well will only sort of up the tempo for us.
What did Ipswich pay? $1.5 million for him from Everton. He looks a player with a bright future, excelling at Portman Road. 62 minutes play. Here is Brennan Johnson, lets the ball run through. Johnson cuts inside. Johnson with a shot. Oh, Brooks actually blocked. In an attempt to get out of the way, Brooks actually blocked the effort from Johnson.
First thing he did, David Brooks, come on, is block a shot from Brennan Johnson. But now another good move. Well, I say a good move. It's a long goal kick from Danny Ward. Nico Williams down this left-hand side does really well, plays the ball into Brennan Johnson, who is going to have a shot on target, there's no doubt about it. I don't know whether it's going to trouble the keeper, but unfortunately he hits David Brooks.
Looked a real threat in transition, Wales. Anytime there's been a transition in terms of whether it's a knockdown, whether it's a counter-attack, whatever it is, looked a real threat with that three on the counter.
A morale-boosting win for Greece. They're leading France by 2-1 in Group B. Greece, who are seeded in the playoffs. Indeed, they know that they will face Kazakhstan. Wales won't know their opponents until later in the week. Celik coming forward. Wales still lead by a goal to nil. Celik's cross. They appeal for handball. Referee is unmoved. Wilson tidies up, back towards Ward, clears it away. They're midway through the second half in Zagreb. Croatia still lead by a goal to nil. If Turkey don't get a point, Croatia will finish top of Group D. Turkey with Badakci. Now coming forward is Kariolu. Strong run from the left back, enters the penalty area, and with a cut back he was looking for Yazigi, who again has words with Lockyer, and then the two of them just kiss and make up, and it goes behind for a corner kick to Turkey.
It's a real psychological thing here in these two games. It's a very, very good side when you 1-0 up, when you know you've qualified, to keep going and to keep that tempo. So there's going to be a time, I feel, when Croatia may come off the gas and think, right, we're content with what we got, and that's a dangerous thing to do.
Corner kick for Turkey. It's an in-swinger, headed away well by Rodon. Wilson tries to get it further clear. They've never scored on Welsh soil in their 3 previous visits, Turkey, as the ball is cleared by Rodon. In fact, Wales are unbeaten in all 3 home games. Their first meeting since 1996, which was a goalless draw, but in World Cup qualifiers in 1978, Wales won by a goal to nil, and they hit 4 past Turkey in 1980. They lead by a goal to nil here tonight, but it's the result in Zagreb which is where now Welsh eyes are focused, providing of course that they can hang on to the lead here against Turkey, whose supporters are still trying to create some noise inside the Cardiff City Stadium. 5 Live and BBC Sounds, 1-0 to Wales. Yildiz. This is Sarri. Look for Celik. Interception though by Nico Williams, and he was hauled to the ground. Referee will give a free kick. That'll do it, James.
Excellent shape. Sorry, James.
No, just saying it's excellent. I think you were going to say the same thing. Excellent shape from Wales, as we've mentioned. Both me and Nathan. Turkey are having possession, but it's comfortable. Wales are playing the back 3, and the wing backs are sitting in and sort of keeping everything in front of them. So, from a defensive point of view, at the minute, Wales are more than comfortable.
And I said the more the Turkey commit, then it does leave them open with the pace and the energy that the Wales have got.
Wales 1, Turkey 0. Still no change in Zagreb. They have 20 minutes remaining. We have 25 left. As Bayindir plays it out to Kariolu. Özcan, left of the centre circle. Yüksek just caught Wilson off the ball, but the referee has let that one continue, as it's now with Celik here. Yüksek, Wilson in pursuit. Badakci steps forward, 6 yards forward of the centre circle in the Welsh half. Every red shirt back behind the ball. Here is Sarri now, who takes over. Diminutive forward. Celik crosses. Header off target by Aktürkoğlu. Have you ever seen the film Dumb and Dumber?
Several occasions. You
know that scene when the Jim Carrey character is talking to, is it Mary? And he goes, have I basically got a chance? And she goes, the chances aren't good. And he goes, are you telling me though I've still got a chance?
More like 1 in a million, so you're telling me there's a chance.
I feel that's the situation that Wales are in at the moment. Time's running away.
How did Dumb and Dumber come to your head at a point like this then?
I don't know. But they've still got a chance. The odds are stacked against them.
Well, as Nathan said, Wales have still got to do their job. They've got to stay sharp. They've got to stay on their ball, because anything can happen. A corner in Armenia, they could get a goal. So it's still big.
Here is Sarri. Goes towards the byline. Well watched by Williams. Dived in, made the challenge. Behind it goes for a corner kick. Lloyd. It was Lloyd. Wales are the Lloyd of international football at the moment.
Lloyd Christmas.
Corner kick for Turkey, trailing by a goal to nil. They, remember, need a point. As Sarri, left-footed in-swinger. The goalkeeper's lost it. Ward, could be trouble. Lockyer responded very well, got the block in. Yazigi out towards that far side. Blonde-haired, ponytail, headed out by Davis. And then Wilson goes down. The referee will give a free kick, and that will just take some pressure off. First real mistake that Ward's made.
Yeah, but look, he's positive, proactive. If you're going to make a mistake, then be proactive doing it, coming through bodies. Obviously, had a jumping ahead of him was probably getting in his eye line. But as I said, when you do make that slight error like that, all you're looking for then is one of your defenders to react, and look, he did that.
Ahead of the game, Grace Note Live on social media had calculated that Wales had a 7% chance of automatic qualification coming into these two fixtures. 18 minutes remaining in Zagreb for that to change, for an Armenia equaliser to increase the percentage rate for Wales to automatically qualify, to be that 20th and final team for automatic qualification. Yüksek turns, plays the ball out towards that far side, the left. Yildiz goes down. The referee...
No.
The referee has given a penalty. Kenan Yildiz has won the penalty.
That is likely to be the softest penalty you're likely
Surely they'll
to
check
see.
it. Surely they'll check. But the only issue we have then is it might not be a clear and obvious error, but that is soft.
The ball's played in. It just looked like a coming together.
Nobody even noticed anything. It was just going through to Danny Ward and play on. And the referees decided to point to the spot.
Oh.
Ben Davies has been shown a yellow card as well. There didn't seem to be... Well, they're saying that there was a push maybe from the left arm of Ben Davies.
And he's got no chance of getting it either, you know. It's a tactic that Turkey have used all night in terms of stretching play, looking to get in beyond. It is a tactic they've used, but...
Wales had 2 shouts for a penalty first half, and that is the least of them.
Absolutely.
Well, absolutely.
Of Wales' 2, that is the softest I've seen.
The penalty has been awarded, the penalty stands. Wales leading by a goal to nil in a game that they must win. Could be pegged back here by Turkey, that will end surely their hopes of automatic qualification. Youssef Yazici up against Danny Ward. Left-footed now, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. Turkey, the Group D leaders, have got the equaliser for the point that they require to ensure that they will go into pot 2, and it means for Wales they may well have to do it the hard way. It doesn't matter now what's happening in Zagreb. 1-1 here in Cardiff.
I'm saying it with my Welsh head on. That's outrageous. I think what I've just seen, nobody's even reacted. No one's shouted for a penalty. Not even the Turkish players have reacted, and the ref's given it. Obviously, they've checked it and think it's worthy of a penalty, but you've got to think Wales have been extremely hard done by there.
Well, and as you said, with the 2 earlier penalty appeals, that with far more contact than was administered there, I think they've been really hard done by there.
Now, what's important here is that Wales do keep their discipline. There was Bardakci, so particularly for Brennan Johnson. Now, the yellow cards wouldn't count for the playoffs, but a red card would.
But I think it's important to keep their heads here and stay in the game here. Don't let it go, because...
But that's another challenge of Yüksek on Wilson. That's been a running theme in this second half as well. And all of a sudden, the referee's now got to try and contain this game. Tempers are fraying on the touchline. Rob Page and his coaching staff having a word, being told to settle down by the 4th official.
Dana, you mentioned it earlier on in the second half. He was given a lot. It seems like he's just decided now that he wants to be involved in the game.
Celik just bundling over Brennan Johnson. So the right back for Turkey has been shown a yellow card. It feels as if the game's getting out of control from the officials' point of view.
It does, but look. Slightly more contact. But as I was saying earlier, it's important now that Wales really stay in the game and make sure that they don't just try and go gung-ho here and concede another one, because they're in Zagreb are five minutes ahead. If Armenia were to score, it would give Wales that extra bit of time, maybe throw Kievan Moore and do something that can win them the game, and that's when the psychological shift happens.
VAR, though, has made some questionable decisions. It hasn't. VAR hasn't acted on some questionable decisions. You think of the England penalty last night, North Macedonia, the Ukraine penalty that wasn't awarded against Italy, the one here today. I mean, that's the softest of penalties. Wales have been harshly treated in that
very
respect.
harshly done by, and like I said, I'm saying it as a Welsh fan, and you just feel like sometimes the referee's giving the penalty, they're sort of sticking by him rather than doing the right thing. I think everyone in the stand can see, and everyone would agree, that it's not a penalty, but they just seem to be sticking by their referees, and there's been some shocking decisions.
Imagine a scenario where Armenia to get an equaliser and Wales will be denied automatic qualification through that. That would be controversial. The type of decisions, actually, that VAR was brought in to eradicate.
But I think what they're saying is that once the referee's made a decision, and to be fair, the referee's made decisions on all three, and then VAR just haven't overturned that.
Yes. Yeah. Here is Lockyer. So 1-1 in Cardiff, still Croatia lead by a goal to nil. And it would mean that Turkey would qualify as Group D winners on what has been an eventful night here in the Welsh capital. Davis for Wilson. The interception picked up by Yüksek, and now all of a sudden it's 3 against 3. Out towards Sarri. Yüksek's continued his run. Sarri will carry the ball. Yüksek now holds off the run through the middle. And Sarri will go it alone! Left-footed. Did that just clip the crossbar?
Hit the bar. It's an absolutely world-class strike. He's cut in Sarri on his left foot and drilled it towards the top corner. And it's just skimmed the sort of the crossbar, the left upright. It was a hell of a strike.
It was an outswinger, and it just kissed the top of the bar as it was always going away from Ward. That would have been an excellent goal for Turkey, who now seem buoyed by that equaliser. 16 minutes remain, 1-1.
Game's starting to open up a little now. You know, both teams, Wales coming out a little bit knowing they've got to win the game. That then gets the tables to turn slightly, so Turkey now become the counter-attacking team, and they've got quality on the counter as well. We're in for interesting 20-25 minutes here.
There was a foul on Williams by, it wasn't Celik, was it? It was just been booked. No, it wasn't. No, it was Yüksek. And it's going to be free kick to Wales. Wales, if they could get themselves back in front, could set up a rather uncomfortable 11 minutes in Zagreb. But Croatia will know at this stage that Wales have been pegged back. Wales with Wilson, with a free kick, left-footed, up towards Davis. Headed out, referee's blown his whistle. And it'll be a free kick to Turkey. We have 15 minutes remaining. Well, as I said at the very start of the second half, the fact that they are good 5 minutes ahead of us in Zagreb, depending of course on how much added on time, we will know the scenario come the last 5 minutes of this game here in Cardiff, as Turkey are going to break another change. Now this will be Ayhan who's going to be coming on, another of the from the Turkish champions Galatasaray, former German youth international. He can either play as a defender, or indeed he can just sit there, as he did at Old Trafford in the Champions League in defensive midfield. So we'll wait to see who he replaces, and that will give us an indication of the mentality of Vincenzo Montella, the coach of Turkey, whether he's going to just take the point.
Yeah, I think you can see the experience of these Turkish players coming out now. They're just keeping the ball, obviously making substitutions, trying to slow the game down, and you know, this is where it comes into it. And international football, they're happy just to keep the ball and see out the remaining 14 minutes.
If ever there was a giveaway as to where the Turkish supporters are inside the Cardiff City Stadium, the Turkish fans have been lighting up their lights on their mobile phones and waving them. So you can see in that two-tiered stand opposite, there's a number in the top right-hand corner as we look. No, they didn't penetrate the red wall. There isn't a light to be seen in the end away towards our left-hand side, as Ayhan waits to come on. 1-1, Özcan leaves it. 1-1 here, Croatia still lead. Badaci now with Aykaydin. Here is Özcan looking for the run of Yildiz, who won the penalty in controversial circumstances. He wriggles free though, does Yildiz, and Yildiz shoots, but his right-footed effort from the left corner of the penalty area was always going over the top. Goal kick, 1-1.
Definitely added something when he's come on. He's running beyond his quality, and he's always looked positive. Everything he's done has been positive since he came on.
Let's get an update from Goodison Park in that under-21 encounter between England and Northern Ireland. Chris Coles.
England still with that very comfortable 2-0 advantage with 12 minutes to play. Noni Madueke's had a decent chance to make it 3. Northern Ireland, to their credit, have come into the game and beginning to string some decent attacks together themselves, but they're not really threatening James Trafford in the England goal. And England are 12 minutes away from a pretty comfortable victory, leading 2-0.
Well, now Turkey are going to make another change, and it is going to be Youssef Sarri, who's just gone close by clipping the crossbar coming off. So it is going to be more of a defensive change made by Vincenzo Montella, with Ayhan replacing him. Don't forget, I think we might be off air at 10 o'clock tonight as it stands, so any reaction that we're unable to bring you between now and 10, you'll be able to listen to on the 5 Live Football Daily podcast, and the latest edition of the Match of the Day Top 10 podcast is also out as well. The Premier League's greatest partnerships, as Dan James is going to be coming on for Wales, getting his final instructions from Rob Page. Croatia 1, Armenia 0. 8 minutes remain in Zagreb. We have just under 13 minutes remaining here in Cardiff, and it is 1-1 on BBC Radio 5 Live. Lockyer heads it away. Now in the midfield, it is with Ayhan, leaves it. Turkey, who've avoided defeat in only 2 of their 14 away internationals against the home nations. I say that, they've actually never played Scotland away. A goalless draw that I mentioned against Wales in 96, and a 3-0 win against Belfast, against Northern Ireland in Belfast in 1999. So whilst they might just not get the win to change that statistic a great deal, they are going to get the point that they crave, that would mean that they go into pot 2. Another goal at Goodison as Harry Wilson comes off, replaced by Dan James. Chris.
A third for England, the points secured. Another goal for Harvey Elliott, clean through, 1-on-1. Lovely little nonchalant flick into the corner. He's had a good night, and he scored 2 of England's 3 goals. They lead 3-0 with 10 minutes to play.
Here is Ward at the back for Wales. And they've still got to try and find a winning goal themselves, just on the off chance that Armenia were to equalise. What was it that Rob Page said? We don't want to be focused on our regrets. They don't want to look back and think we didn't do our job tonight.
Well, yeah, for majority of the game, 95% of the game they have. I believe they've been let down by a poor refereeing decision as it stands. Like I say, they need to get back into it, because anything can happen in Zagreb, as we spoke about.
Yüksek wins the ball out to Çelik. Now it's with Ayhan inside to Özcan. Wales trying to win the ball back from Galatasaray, from Turkey, who seem to have had a little bit more control in this second half.
Yeah, they have. I think they've freshened it up slightly, and I said they've known they've had to go, and then definitely the penalties lifted them. You know, they were struggling to create anything of note, and then. Don't want to be disrespectful, but they gifted the goal in the manner that they were, seemed to lift them, and then they've got what they've came for at this point. So they're not really showing too much more ambition to get another one, but if it comes, it comes.
I went into Champions League mode there, and when I mentioned Ayhan, we will of course be in Istanbul when the Champions League returns next week. Paris, Istanbul and Arsenal Lens, our 3 commentaries. Premier League of course returns this weekend. Newcastle Chelsea from 3, the usual goal service. Brentford Arsenal 5:30, Mark Chapman on air from midday. Turkey have a free kick, right hand side, in it comes Aktürkoğlu, and it was easily claimed by Ward. Couldn't get the early release. Brooks was the only outlet downfield. It's a high bouncing ball. Brooks is barged over. The referee, I think he's given the throw rather than the free kick.
I think he's given the free kick, the referee, but the linesman's 2 yards away from him, given the throw-in. I thought the linesman was there to help out, but yeah, the mind boggles.
He's now given a yellow card to Aktürkoğlu, who has spoken out of turn, so that's a yellow card for the Turkish player. It still remains a 0-0. Nathan's refreshing my phone for me with 4 minutes remaining.
Just trying to keep my hands warm.
It's 1-1 here in a game that Wales have to win regardless what happens in Zagreb. No use worrying about the permutation from that side if Wales don't do their job. And left deflated after that controversial penalty decision that gave Turkey a chance to equalise, that was dispatched. So 1-1 here. Kiefer Moore's going to be coming on. We are a number of minutes behind what's happening in Zagreb. So Kiefer Moore hardly had any game time for Bournemouth this season. 5 substitute appearances in the Premier League as his club teammate Brooks tries to come forward and thread a ball through the middle. Yildiz up towards Yazigi. Wales, though, with the energy of Dan James coming on to help win it back. We have 4 minutes remaining of normal time and it's 1-1. Wales are being urged on. Kiefer Moore's getting his final instructions from Alan Knill. Here is James along the ground, forward through. This is Brennan Johnson with the chip. Hits the post and goes in, but the flag is raised. The flag is raised, it will not count. Adjudged offside. Brennan Johnson with an impudent chip over the top, kissing the left-hand post, and the celebrations cut short. Was he onside? Oh no, he was off.
It's the hope that kills you. You had a feeling as soon as you saw it. As soon as you saw it, you felt he was offside, but when they got to let it go and then he threw in the new place erupts, and then the linesman's flag goes up.
It's a great finish as well.
It is.
I know he's offside, maybe a yard, 2 yards offside, but he's gone in and finished it very well.
Nico Williams, who gave Wales the dream start, is the player who makes way for Kiefer Moore. We have 6 minutes of normal time remaining. They've only got 2 minutes left in Zagreb, where Croatia still lead by a goal to nil. And you think about the penalty decision, James, then you think about the offside, and it was the correct decision with the offside. You're then starting to think it's just not going to be the night for Wales.
Yeah, it's sort of starting to look that way, unfortunately, but going back to that, regardless of the penalty and what happens after this evening, hopefully, you know, something can happen in Zagreb and we can get a goal. But these Welsh players and the manager should be extremely proud tonight.
Yeah, all Rob can do is put out a side there and ask for a performance from him. He's got that, you know, he's got that. He's been hard done by with the penalty, but in terms of the performance from a young group, a relatively inexperienced group, it's been a performance he can be proud of, and we're not over yet.
No, we're not. They will be over before we are, though, in Zagreb, where Croatia still lead Armenia by a goal to nil. 1-1 here. Wales have to win and then hope for a dramatic late equaliser from the Armenians, who of course took their destiny out of their own hands when that 1-1 draw in Armenia on Saturday. In the second half, where Wales just didn't test Chancharevic, the Armenian goalkeeper, enough really, as Davis steps forward and wins the ball, coming out now from a left-back position, and Ben Davis with the cross into the penalty area. Badaci heads it away. James wins it back. James finds his namesake Daniel James. Daniel James back to Roberts. Roberts to Daniel James, far side the right. They're in the 90th minute in Zagreb, still 1-0 to Croatia. Daniel James tries to roll the ball, successfully finds Roberts right hand side. Roberts, time to measure the cross. In it comes, just over the head of Justin James, lifted back in, headed out by Yildiz. Backs to the wall for Turkey and then hooked away. Ben Davis heads it back, the Wales captain. Akaydin releases the run of Celik on this near side the right. Atakoglu sliding across was Roden. So pumped up, got there first. Excellent challenge, 1-1.
If only Armenia can just nick a goal, you just sense that now with Kiefer Moore on, they can just put balls in the box. They have something can happen. We're just praying for that Armenia equaliser.
I don't know how long they've got left to play, but they're in the 91st minute in Zagreb, where Croatia still have the slender lead, lifted into the penalty area by Özcan. Yazigi down towards the corner flag, he goes behind for a goal kick. It's going to feel like a very flat party once that full-time score comes in from Zagreb. I mean, earlier on I could hear the disappointment in your voice, James.
Yeah, it is going to be, because I mentioned it before the game, we get after that Croatia result here, beating them 2-1 in such a tremendous performance, and then the disappointment of Saturday. We're talking about tonight how well Wales have been, and they have been superb, both sides. It's attacking and defending really have been superb. That result, against Armenia on Saturday is going to be the bitter pill to swallow. There's no doubt about it. Go in there and getting the draw. That's going to be the one that these Wales fans are going to look at.
Ben Davies floats the ball in. There are 3 minutes of added on time in Zagreb, and they are now into the last 60 seconds where it remains Croatia 1, Armenia 0. And it means that Croatia will be going through with Turkey from Group D. Wales needed a favour from Armenia, but those prayers not necessarily answered in Zagreb. And Croatia, who'd only won 2 of their last 6 at home, are going to get a precious 3 points to see them over the line. Which is bizarre when you think about it, Nathan, that Wales have taken 4 points from Croatia in this group. It's Armenia and the performances against them, or the results against them, that have proved costly.
Yeah, they've been a bit of a surprise package. I was surprised. I watched the game here, and when they beat them 4-2, and that took me by surprise really, and might have done the whole group, But Wales have shown that they can compete with Croatia, they can compete with Turkey, and they're the 2 best teams in the group. In terms of that, and again, we keep saying about it's a young group, it's in transition, so it'll all bode well. And look, if it comes to a playoff, then you've got to win the playoff, and then you're in the tournament. I mean, those are the positive things you have to look at.
Yep. Well, I'm sure between now and 10 we'll talk about the playoff picture for Wales, because we're just awaiting confirmation of that full-time score now from Zagreb. That will mean the end of this game is irrelevant in many ways, unless, of course, that Turkey were to lose it, and that would mean that they then lose top spot. But still playing in Zagreb for the time being. Croatia 1-0. As the Welsh supporters, almost in defiance, find their voices on a night where, and you touched upon it, James, Rob Page and his players can be so proud of this level of performance.
They can, and I think the Welsh fans are showing their appreciation of how well they've done, how proud they are of this team. Look, it's not going to. We put ourselves in a great spot. It looks as if it's not going to happen, automatic qualification, but this performance tonight bodes really well for the future. As Nathan's touched on a couple of times, such a young squad in transition. They've been incredible tonight. Every man to himself, and the manager with his tactics. Everyone's been spot on. They really have.
Yeah, they certainly have. We're 4 added on minutes, and Wales' worst fears have been confirmed. It has finished in Zagreb by Croatia 1, Armenia 0. That goal from Budimir just before half-time, taking Croatia through with Turkey. Wales, though, with Johnson coming forward. It'll be the playoffs for Wales once again. A single-leg semi-final against either Finland, Ukraine or Iceland to take on either Poland or Estonia, who will meet in the other semi-final in Path A, as Turkey become the final team. Croatia become the final team to get automatic qualification, going through with Turkey from Group D. Lockyer.
And of course they won't want to concede late now here, because it means that as it stands, they go through as group winners.
Yeah, and a place in pot 2. Croatia would go into pot 3. Italy will be in pot 4 with Serbia, as Daniel James with a cross and prodded just wide by Jordan James.
Was that the list of names he just read out, Dano, of Wales could meet in the playoffs, was it?
So Wales will face, basically, because there was 5 teams from Path B, from the Nations League, they've got to make, and the 2 Group B winners automatically go into Group Path B. The 3 other sides from that group, one of them's got to go into Path A. So UEFA are going to conduct a draw on Thursday morning at 11 o'clock, and it will either be Finland, Ukraine or Iceland who Wales will play here in Cardiff in that one-legged semi-final and Poland will meet Estonia in the other semi-final. The winners of Poland-Estonia will take on either the winners of Wales or...
Well, that's something for Rob Page. The names there, you'd like to think. It's been disappointing we haven't qualified, as I mentioned, automatically. But you look at those names, no disrespect to any of them, Rob Page and his staff would quite fancy their chances of beating anyone here in Cardiff. So, tonight is going to be a big positive. Rob Page will sit these players down, talk about this performance tonight, the way they conducted themselves, the way they played, the way they've handled the occasion, and take positives from it, and then look forward to hopefully qualifying for the playoffs.
Well, Wales have been awarded a free kick. Who's to say it's not Ukraine, a repeat of that World Cup playoff game here in Cardiff in June 2022. Late goal in League One, Leyton Orient 0, Lincoln City 1. So Lincoln City have found a potential late winner there in the Brisbane Road. Wales have got a free kick. It's 1-1 here, but Croatia have qualified. So this will just mean that it would be a winning end to the campaign for Rob Page. They'll still nevertheless go into those playoffs unbeaten in 6. Look for the positives, and there's certainly been much to take from tonight's performance as it's chipped into a penalty area, and it'll be headed behind for a corner kick. This will probably be the last bit of the action. 4 minutes of added on time. Wales looking for a late winner.
And I think there is lots of positives, Daniel. As I mentioned before, the positives are the way the players have handled it. Nathan's mentioned the young players. This is all experience. This is going to make these boys better players.
Ward has come up from the back. 1-1. Last bit of the action in injury time. Brooks takes it, floats it towards Lockyer, heads it on. Ward had a swipe of that with his right foot. Was it keeper Moore who took it away from him?
He's taking it off his foot.
Danny Ward had a tap in at the back stick.
Brooks does well, lifts it away from Chilik, coming across then, and thundering the ball out was Ihan. And there is indeed the full-time whistle. Wales must now prepare for the pressure of the playoffs, as it's finished 1-1 here in Cardiff. And for a large proportion of the night, certainly for the best part of the first half, it looked like it might just happen. But a goal from Budimir, as it's just flaring up in the penalty area way towards our left-hand side, and there's a bit of a melee now between the two sets of the players. Bayindir has got his hands around the back of the head of Roberts, the Turkish goalkeeper. Some of the coaching staff are getting involved, and it's a rather unsavoury end to proceedings in a game that has just simmered away throughout the whole night.
Yeah, it sort of teetered on the brink of boiling over at times. There was a little bit of niggle, throughout it. But with a game of this magnitude, game of this importance, you don't mind that, It shows that both sets of players care. And even after the end, maybe something was said, we don't know. But hopefully nothing further or anyone getting any kind of red card at the end, because that's one thing Wales wouldn't want to finish the night on.
Well, the referee, I think, is looking to try and take some action. If there is a red card shown, then that, of course, could be interesting for the next set of games for these two sides. But yellow card is shown to Connor Roberts, and as things just start to settle down, the Turkish players are now going to walk over towards that Turkish supporters, at least 2,000 of them in the far side. The referee's still not done. He's showing more and more yellow cards. But the upshot of it is that Wales are in the playoffs, and it's Turkey and Croatia have qualified. 1-1. Kelly.
Ian, thank you very much. Ian Dennis, James Collins and Nathan Jones with us till 10 o'clock to react to Wales' disappointment and to count the yellow cards that have been given after the final whistle there by a referee who came to life in the second half, having not given decisions in the first half for Wales. In the second half, he gave a penalty against them. We'll look at some of those decisions, and we'll reflect on Wales' performance and what that means as they look ahead to the playoffs between now and 10 o'clock. But it's all over at Goodison Park for England and the Northern Ireland under-21s. Let's find out what happened with Chris Coles.
What happened, Kelly? A very comfortable England victory. 3-0 to Liverpool players, ensuring a straightforward night in Liverpool. Tyler Morton's arrowed finish for 1-0. Harvey Elliott then added 2 more. A perfectly placed free kick, and then a nonchalant lob when clean through. 3-0 Morton more than reflecting England's dominance. Northern Ireland, they stuck at it, had a decent 10-minute spell in the second half, but they didn't muster a single shot on goal, and it's England who keep pace with group leaders Ukraine. This win cementing second, 3 points behind Ukraine, yet to drop points in this qualifying campaign. Comfortable night for England, 3-0 winners over Northern Ireland in this under-21 Euro qualifier.
Chris, thank you very much. Wales had to win against Turkey and they needed Croatia to drop points against Armenia. As it turned out, Wales didn't beat Turkey and Croatia didn't drop points against Armenia. But all hope is not lost. Wales could still qualify through the playoffs in March. We'll get into that in a bit. But first, Ian Dennis, talk us through the game.
Well, it's a controversial penalty decision that ultimately robbed Wales of the victory against Turkey tonight. 20 minutes remaining. Davis is adjudged to have fouled Yildiz, and Yazigi with an emphatic penalty, sending the goalkeeper Danny Ward the wrong way. Wales had got off to a flying start. Fine goal from Williams, curling the ball in, right-footed into the bottom right-hand corner. And Turkey looked out of sorts, and Wales had a number of chances. They played really, really well. At that stage, they were doing their part, and Croatia was only drawing against Armenia. But Wales had to win and hope that Croatia failed to win. But Budimir changed all of that in Zagreb just before half-time with a goal that gave Croatia the 1-0 victory. And despite Wales trying so valiantly, it wasn't to be, and it means that they're destined for the playoffs if they are to reach Euro 2024.
So disappointment for Wales, but there is the hope of progressing through the playoffs in March. And while the result in Zagreb meant that the result of this game didn't count in the end, Nathan Jones, it's worth looking at the performance that Wales put in, because there's a lot of hope then for the playoffs, given the way that they performed in this match against Turkey.
Yeah, absolutely. And I said you'll reflect on everything, but from tonight, looking forward, because that's what they've got to do now, it will give them real good hope. The performance level was there, the energy was there, they were a threat, and as I said, they probably won't meet anyone in the playoffs as good as Turkey. So anyone here, you fancy them in that first leg or the first game, and they have to take the positives from here, because how the young boys handled the pressure and the occasion tonight was wonderful, and that bodes very, very well for the upcoming months and for the future of Welsh football.
And Kelly, there is a lot of positives. As Nathan said, the young squad we got attacking. Turkey didn't know how to handle our front three for 20 minutes. The only way they got to grips with it was by changing formation, and if Wales are doing that to a team like Turkey, making them change, that can only be a good thing. And defensively, other than one of the softest penalties I've ever seen, Wales were more than solid defensively as well. So obviously disappointment. The Welsh team and the staff are walking around the pitch now, sad faces, a bit down, but they'll get in that dressing room and think, look, anyone that comes here in the playoffs, we'll give them a game and fancy our chances. So a lot of positives.
A lot of positives to be taken, and also the fact that the roll of the dice never really quite went Wales's way. There were a couple of penalty decisions in the first half that could have gone Wales's way that the referee decided weren't a penalty, and they weren't overturned on further examination by VAR. And then the penalty that was given looked like a very, very soft one for what they thought was an arm from Ben Davis on the Turkey play. I mean, what did you make of the decisions, James?
Yeah, I said it in commentary, Kelly. I think the penalty that's been given for Turkey is the softest of three shouts that we've seen tonight. I know I'm an ex-Welsh player and a proud Welshman, but I truly believe that. There was certainly one on Harry Wilson. It looked, or Brennan Johnson, we looked like the Turkish defender took him first and then the ball, and the second, I think we all agreed, it looked clumsy initially, and then we've seen the replays, and for me it's 100% more of a penalty than the penalty that's been given, to get Turkey the point. So, that's what it is. That's decisions the referees made. These Wales boys are just on the way into the dressing room now. Worked their absolute socks off tonight. Big occasion. Every single player on that pitch and all the staff have done their country proud tonight. So they'll go in there and have a little chat, and then focus on the playoffs.
And as much as we saw Ben Davis give one of his characteristic now speeches to the Wales players in that huddle, on the pitch at the end of the game, trying to sort of pick them up, because they do have to go again in March. So plenty of time for them to get their heads together. But Nathan, they will be bruised from that game, and they will, even though in the end the result wasn't relevant because of the result in Croatia, they will be feeling bruised and they will be feeling emotional after seeing those decisions go against them.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, they can't feel too down, because as I said, the result in Croatia meant that tonight was a little bit obsolete anyway, so they go, okay, we'll park that. And then they look at the performance and go, no, look, it was a real performance there. Ben Davies was excellent. It's a real shame that he's been penalised for something very, very soft. But they'll all have club football now for 3-4 months. Then they'll all meet up again. And as I said, it'll be a massive, massive occasion come March time when they have to play in those playoffs.
So, James, when we look at the overall picture of these qualifiers, patchy is one way to describe it, but it did feel actually until the result against Armenia, until the draw against Armenia, that Wales had sort of picked up, that they'd started slowly and then were sort of climbing upwards.
Yeah, well, certainly, describe it as patchy. Rob Page said himself that he thought they'd from him doing his sort of looking at games and taking points, they maybe were a couple behind. But then after the result against Croatia here, it was hell of a night in front of these fans and getting the 2-1 win. We put ourselves in a great spot. It hasn't happened. The biggest disappointment will be the 2 results against Armenia. There's no doubt about it. Armenia coming here and beating us in Cardiff 4-2 was a big disappointment. And then going away, no disrespect to Armenia. Certainly me, I probably underestimated them myself. I thought they were a lot better. Did themselves well on the weekend. But those 2 results, say, will be the most disappointing. But then, look at this performance, this result. Turkey have topped the group. They've been quite impressive in qualification, and Wales have more than matched them this evening. So, like I said, you look at it in whole, there'd be a little bit of disappointment that we haven't qualified, because that's what we've become used to. This is what the Wales fans have become used to, qualifying for big tournaments. And it's hard, there's no doubt about it. It's become accustomed to these Wales fans, but it is hard to qualify. So take the positives out of tonight. There'll be talk about the whole qualification campaign, I'm sure, but we're still in it. We've still got a chance in these playoffs, what we're all going to look forward to.